Hello, welcome to my Pokemon Horizons episode 14 review, and well, if I thought last week's was a bit disappointing, well, they completely made up for that here. We got a peak episode, guys. Oh, so good. So, this episode, Fly Wattrel, is basically about Roy going back, finding out Wattrel from last week, and like helping it like learn over its... Well, I find out it's kind of got like a fear of heights or flying or whatever, so Roy decides he wants to help out with that. So yeah, basically this whole episode is just like a whole lot of bonding with like Roy and Wattrel. It's fantastic stuff, and it's just really great to see, you know. Like, in the old series, when Ash would help out wild Pokemon and eventually, like, culminate in a catch, that was always great to see, and I'm very happy to say we've got that here. Oh, man. I'm just going to skip to, like, what I think about the catch right now. It is fantastic. Like, Watcher has to put, like, what it's learned into motion to make sure that it can get to Roy before, like, Roy is able to leave. And, like, it can't, like, perfectly fly still at the end of the episode, which I think that's really good. You know, Roy's helped it overcome this initial hurdle, but it's still going to have, like, loads of room to grow. And you actually notice that the Wattrel that, like, Roy's been helping is a lot smaller than the other Wattrels, so it's potentially a lot younger, and, you know, obviously then there's a lot of room to grow from there. So I'm very interested in seeing where that goes. But yeah, it was just a really wholesome catch moment. You know, Roy seems bummed as him and Murdoch are leaving. You know, Murdoch notices that Roy seems a bit upset. As soon as, like, Wattrel's flying over to Roy, Roy's like, why? I mean, I helped you, like, learn to, like, be with your friends, because obviously they can fly, now you can fly a bit. And Murdoch's like, yeah, but now it wants to be your friend, and, like, gives Roy a Pokeball. And Roy does this amazing catch as, like, Wattrel starts to fall, because obviously it can't fly perfectly. I manages to nail Wattrel, and oh, it's just... The hug between him, Fuecoco, and Wattrel is amazing. I love it. Oh, fantastic. So moving on to, like, kind of our B plot. The ship's still kind of having its whole reboot going on. You know, there's no signal or anything, so it hasn't happened. Freeze goes to, like, investigate that. And he sees some Magnetons, like, causing a magnetic storm or something like that. So he kind of chases him off, but decides he'll, like, follow the Magneton to see what's going on. And then that's when he gets ambushed, like, by a Magneton and a Behem. So he starts attacking Freeze, because they're getting remote orders from Spinel. And Spinel's kind of getting remote information from these guys. So Charizard's being, like, held by Psychic, it's being hit by, like, electric moves from Magneton. And as Behem starts charging up a Meteor Beam, Freeze decides he has no choice. He's got to Terastallize. Oh my god. So we actually kind of saw this moment coming, like in an upcoming preview a few weeks ago. It was worth the wait. Oh my god. Charizard is a Dark Terror type. And that is just such a cool combination for it. Like when I was playing Scarlet, I was thinking like, okay, I want to use Charizard on my team. I want to use a Dark Terror type. I didn't end up going with Dark Terror in the end. But it's something I always had in my mind. And seeing the fact that Freeze has that, oh, good stuff. It's amazing. But yeah, he pretty quickly, like, one-shots Behem, so, you know, Behem and Magneton retreat. And that's given Spinel information that, obviously, oh, they've got Terastallization on their side. Great stuff. Also, I find it really interesting that Freeze doesn't tell the other Rising Volt tacklers about that. I find that a bit strange, because it's like, he's guarding Liko. Well, they're all guarding Liko. They've been hired as bodyguards. Surely you should know someone's out for them, you know? And another little plot as well is, at the start of the episode, Murdoch had taken Liko shopping, and he said like, oh yeah, I want to get like this one spice, but I didn't have it, so whatever. Spinel overhears that, because he's got a Behem scouting them, and like later on in the episode, Liko gets a notification that this spice is available. So she goes off to go get it from Murdoch. And, well, that's when Spinel himself, like, actually appears, kind of, like, bumps into her, and he's like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. But he has a Behem Hypnotizer in the meantime, so he's able to, like, grab the pendant. And that's where this episode ends. So, I mean, yeah, this is just all around an amazing episode. It's got a lot going on. Obviously, you know, we've got Roy building up a bond with a Pokemon, leading to a capture. We've got the attack on Freed, and we've got the theft of the pendant as well. But it all comes together in such a perfect way. Like, all these, well, most of these stories are, like, quite intertwined because You got Spinel like gathering information. I find it interesting that he doesn't have information on Wattrel. Maybe Wattrel will become like relevant in the future because he wasn't bothering scouting like Roy or anything. And the highlight of the episode is definitely going to be the capture of Wattrel for me. I mean, I really wanted it, to be honest, because its Pokedex entry sounded a lot like Tailo, you know? So I mean, that's like some bias there, but I don't know, it just seems really cool that he kind of bonded in the same way. Like, trying to get an innate trait of this, like, Pokemon working. Because obviously, you know, like, Fuecoco liked singing a lot, but it was quite shy and wasn't really doing it. Until, like, Roy came, got it out of its shell. With Wattrel, Wattrel's, like, scared of heights and can't really fly well, so Roy helped with that. In a really smart way, too, actually. I quite like that he had the idea of using a fishing rod so he can, like, use it as a safety harness, get used to the height. That was a really cool method. I think that was a really good way to do that. And I kind of like that it was a multi-part thing. Like, kind of like Fuecoco was, because, you know, he took, like, 3 episodes to capture Fuecoco. He took, like, 2 episodes to get Wattrel here. It makes it feel, like, really organic and really natural. And obviously we've had some captures be, like, multi-parts before, like, say, Ash's, like, Crocodile, you know. It obviously took a while to get that. It's, like, really nice to see that that's kind of been a trend with Roy. It's not, like, rushing into a capture, or, like, just introducing it, like, 1 episode, and then it's, like, caught the same episode. I really think they're doing it well, and, you know, if they keep on going down this path, I'll be quite happy. Of course, I was, like, super excited to see 3 Terrasilize too. You know, it's really nice having this, like, really experienced trainer kind of at the forefront of the series. Obviously, like, kind of, like, behind Liko and Roy, but it's still, like, really cool having a trainer who, like, knows what he's doing. He's obviously got experience, he's, like, got access to, like, one of the gimmicks. It's really cool. I think my only, like, real criticism would be I think that Liko still doesn't have, like, too much to do. You know, all she really does here is, like, she goes shopping with Murdoch and then she goes shopping again. Yeah, I don't know. I think she needs a bit more, you know? But then again, we've got an episode that seems like it'll kind of focus on her next week. I'll talk about that next week when we get, obviously, have the episode, but yeah, I hope Liko gets a little bit more to do in the future. But, like, for what Roy and Freed had here, fantastic stuff.